Good evening. I'd like to call to order the City of Geneva City Council meeting for March 18th, 2019. I am Alderman Mike Bruno in my role as Mayor Pro Tem, as the mayor is traveling. Illinois statute permits elected officials to attend by phone if under certain circumstances. This is one of them. The mayor is on the phone and will be voting tonight. Yep. You still there, Kevin?
I sure am. Good evening. Thank you.
We begin tonight with the Pledge of Allegiance. I would like to ask the esteemed Paula Kraft to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, yeah, we skipped over the roll call. So, Mr. Recording Secretary, could you take the roll, please?
Bruno.
Here.
Burkhart.
Here.
Clements.
Here.
Ruby.
Here.
Kilberg.
Here.
Maladra.
Here.
Marks.
Here.
McGowan.
Here.
Badecki.
Here.
Swanson.
Here.
Mr. Mayor.
Present.
Thank you. We have a full house, including the phone. First item is 3. It's a public hearing, special items and presentations. Recommend mayor's appointments to the Speed Control Policy Task Force. This does not require a motion. Does it? Oh, is there a motion and a second?
Second.
Motion by Maladra, seconded by Marks. Yeah, I would, as you might be aware, we established a speed control policy task force with, made up of residents. I have that list of names here. That is from Ward 1, Lorraine Oxner, Timothy Moran. Ward 2 has Randall Newkirk and Amy Spring. Ward 3 has Betty Collins and Timothy Keski. I hope I got that right. Ward 4 is Mary Beth Guzzo and Joseph Hager. Ward 5 is Samantha Maluski and Rory McCann. We have an at-large member of Paula Kraft. Is there anything you'd like to say about this? We can take a vote. Is there any discussion on this task force? Okay, we can do a voice vote on this.
All in favor?
Yeah. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously.
So I would just note that their first meeting is this Wednesday at 7 p.m. at the Public Works facility. So it is a meeting open to the public, so anyone is welcome to attend, even if you're not on the task force. 7 p.m. Wednesday at Public Works.
Thank you, Stephanie. Are there any amendments to the agenda tonight? Seeing none, we move on to item 5, the omnibus agenda. All items listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a council member so requests, in which the event item will be removed from the omnibus consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. All items on the omnibus agenda require a simple majority vote unless otherwise indicated. Is there a motion? Moved by McGowan, seconded by Marks. Any discussion? Well, no, there wouldn't be discussion. Roll call vote.
Bruno.
Aye.
Burkhart.
Aye.
Clements.
Aye.
Ruby.
Aye.
Kilberg.
Aye.
Maladra.
Aye.
Marks.
Aye.
McGowan.
Aye.
Badecki.
Aye.
Swanson.
Aye.
Okay, passes unanimously. According to my ledger, we move on to item 10, municipal bills for payment. Mr. Recording Secretary, if you could read that amount.
Total bills for payment, $2,678,144.68.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Burkhart. Seconded by Clements. Any discussion? Seeing none, hearing none. Roll call, please, sir.
Bruno,
Aye.
Burkhart,
Aye.
Clements,
Aye.
Ruby,
Aye.
Kilberg,
Aye.
Maladra.
Aye.
Marks,
Aye.
McGowan,
Aye.
Radecki.
Aye.
Swanson.
Aye.
Passes unanimously. And we move on to the action items tonight. Committee of the Whole items of business. 11A, approve resolution number 2019-24, authorizing execution of a contract with Kramer Tree Specialists Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $1,987,328.80 for a 5-year contract for city brush and leaf collection services. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Marks, seconded by Swanson. Discussion at the dais? Alderman Clements?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Rich, this is just a quick question for you, if you don't mind. I had asked if the Trees R Us had sent in, since the memorandum in our packet was written, an inventory of their equipment, and it looks like there has been stuff returned to us. And so that I understand what I'm looking at, is it correct to say that they do not have in their inventory leaf pickup equipment, and like I call them the Dr. Seuss machines, that's what my son refers to them as.
That's a good name.
That is an incorrect assumption.
That is incorrect.
Correct. If you look on page 2, under miscellaneous, the last item they have listed is 2019 Titan Pro Plus leaf vacuums times 6.
So they have, okay, they have 6 of those. Okay, that's interesting. I'm glad I asked. While you're up here, and I think Alderman Maladra had asked about this a little bit last week, I think one of the concerns I have, just because this is such a big issue with the constituents, how do we hold somebody accountable when they have a 5-year contract? What tools do we have? What can you do? What can we as a council do if, we have a window for pickup? And I understand if the leaves are totally frozen over, there's nothing anybody can do about that. But if we have a 2-week window, whatever the time frame may be, and they're not picked up, what can we do? And how can we say we're doing something about it when people are upset?
Well, I'm going to start with the low-hanging fruit there.
Okay.
The contract calls for a performance and payment bond, and that serves 2 purposes. One, it ensures that their suppliers get paid in a timely manner, so they don't get cut off from fuel, rent, things of that nature. Their dump sites are getting paid. And the other one is a performance bond, which is to the value of the contract, and that is in the city's name, and the city holds that in a safe here at City Hall. And in the event that they fail to perform to where staff feels, with concurrence of the city council, that they are not performing their objective, there's language within the contract to terminate the contract with notice, at which point in time, the city would have to go back out to rebid the contract. And the basic concept of the performance bond, and feel free to jump in at any time here, I've only had to do that once in my career, but basically if we have to go out and bid the project, and the current contract's, proposed contract's at 1.9, we'll keep the math simple, and the next contract comes in at 2.1, we cash that bond, and that bond pays the difference between the 1.9 original contract and the 2.1 original contract, so in essence, the taxing body is not at risk.
Okay. Are there any other tools that we have aside from that?
Well, the contractor, and this has been ongoing for 10 years, they provide daily reports to us, which we look at and we go over. And there are discussions, usually around noon, with their superintendent, and then at the end of the day is what their goals are the next day and what the weather factors are coming down the horizon. And we make suggestions and they make suggestions, and we try to come to a common ground that's going to get the project wrapped up.
All right.
Now, one of the things that this current contract does call for, that's not been any of the previous contracts, are cameras on the trucks. So there'll actually be photographic evidence that for staff to review. And we can use that for a variety of methods. We're also requiring them to have GPS on the trucks, which they already have. A lot of times we'll get feedback from the residents of truck didn't go down my street, and we can actually pull it up and say, well, the trucks did go down your street. Now, we can't prove because of the GPS that they did anything, which is why we have the cameras on board now.
Okay.
So much like our refuse contract and even some other delivery vehicles carry cameras now, we'll be able to further verify what their activities are.
That sounds good. And so the overwhelming reason for deciding to go with Kramer would be just that we don't want to be the guinea pigs for a firm that's never done leaf pickup at this scale?
Well,
Too many risks involved in that, in your opinion? Is that,
as part of our due diligence as your staff, it's looking at their information that's provided by the contractor. We contacted their references, and they supplied us with 5 municipal references, which was called for in the proposal. And all 5 references were very clear that they had not performed a leaf collection for their services. We have a 10-year history with Kramer Tree Care. We have, unfortunately, their last year was rough on the public. Mother Nature didn't cooperate. But you look at a 10-year track history, and are you willing to end a very well-established relationship with the vendor because they had a bad year? And I have to weigh that in contrast with a vendor that has had no experience, that made 2 requests, one when the project was under bid, we had to issue an addendum, where they formally requested to have the leaf collection split from the contract. And then again, that night after the committee meeting, where again they made a request to split the leaf collection from the project. The leaf collection program is a challenge.
I'm sure.
It's a challenge to staff, it's a challenge to city council, it's an incredibly expensive program that's offered to the residents that they pay for. They deserve the highest quality product that we can secure for them at the most reasonable price. But at the end of the day, it's what's your comfort level. So I have to make a choice. I have 2 vendors that applied. One that's had a fairly well-established track history with the city that had agreeably their worst performance ever. And they had it at the worst possible time because it was when their contract was up, which is what Steph kept saying to Kramer. It was, you guys really need to finish strong on this project. And then I have a vendor out there that has had no municipal experience. And I get very nervous being the first one out to try anything new. I am risk adverse, which is a very good thing for a public works director because I like proven technology and I like backups and I like redundancies to redundancies, because that bad day is what I have to work with. Not, well, didn't see that one coming. That's not a viable option for me to say in front of you all. So, in my opinion, my professional recommendation still stands, even after receiving the equipment list, which is to stay with Kramer Tree Service. They're a known quantity. We know they have the equipment. We know they have the experience. And we've made it very clear, and I think the city council has made it very clear with the actions of the committee last week, that they're very much on probation and they're on watch. And it's not just going to be myself and Nate and Kirk Nelson that are going to be riding herd on them, but there's going to be 10 of you that are going to be riding herd on us to make sure that they're stepping up and getting it done right, and getting it done right the first time, no matter what it takes. So my recommendation stands.
Thank you very much.
Any other comments?
You indicated that Trees R Us has 6 pieces of equipment that would they could be deployed for leaf collection?
According to their inventory. Now, we have
Right.
not field verified that
No, I'm
they
just.
have that equipment, but
6. And how many pieces of equipment did Kramer declare?
I want to double check because I don't want to guess. They have 10 leaf machines.
10 leaf machines.
Correct.
And how many municipal contracts does Kramer currently involved with? I see there's representatives here. Could they tell us?
Sure.
That would be good.
Sure.
Thank you.
My name's Tim Peters. I manage the program. Currently, we're doing this here. St. Charles we're waiting to hear from them. They've always been in the past. And we have Winfield Township under contract.
How many trucks did you, or how many vehicles did you dedicate to Geneva last year?
Typically, there's, on a normal year, and I'd have to look back to tell you what we did last year. But typically, you're running 4 machines and 6 trucks.
Well,
So you've got 6, the machines don't stop. So
you
we
have to
take
have the
them out.
vacuums before you're concerned about the trucks, though, right? I
Right.
mean, isn't the key really the vacuums?
Well, and part of the key is the transfer trucks. So we keep the vacuums moving so they're not sitting waiting when they're loaded.
So how many vacuums do you have committed to St. Charles?
There's 4 in that bid.
I would think St. Charles, you're covering a significantly larger geography.
Well, but, let me see if I can explain this. There's 10 machines, and everybody is on a different schedule. So even though we have dedicated 4 machines, which when it snowed, then we were stuck there, but in a normal year, everything is on a different schedule. So you may have 6 machines, you may have 7 machines, because depending on the schedule in each one of these towns, I can move things around. I don't have to, I wouldn't take a machine typically that's not working here and let it set. I'm gonna send it over here and let it work.
So do the leaves fall earlier in Geneva or in St. Charles?
Pretty much the same time.
Oh.
But
So-
you're on a different date schedule. See what I'm saying? Like, in this year it'll be different, right? We split the town a different way, or you split the town a
So are
different
we-
way.
So this fall, we're going to be prioritized over St. Charles?
I like that question. This fall, we're gonna do the best job we can do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions from the dais? Ruby?
I'm not sure if I can ask this, but I'll start and you can let me know. So if this contract is not approved, I'm wondering if, as a next step, if this motion does not pass tonight, if we could look at possibly a 1-year contract with Trees R Us as a trial period type of thought, or if we could look at a shorter duration contract with Kramer so that we could have it reintroduced a competitive bid sooner than 5 years from now. I would vote no for those reasons if these scenarios are possible, if this were voted down
Well, we can't
tonight.
discuss future contracts that aren't on the agenda, but
Okay.
points noted.
Okay, thank you.
Any other commentary from the dais? From the public? Oh, Alderman Radecki.
I have one, and I'm going to ask it quickly before the attorney tells me I can't ask this. They're going to have cameras on the trucks? Do we ever think about putting cameras on the snowplows?
That is a question for the budget officer to answer.
No more from the dais. Anything from the public? Seeing none, hearing none. If you could take a roll call, please.
Bruno,
Aye.
Burkhart,
Aye.
Clements,
Aye.
Ruby,
Nay.
Gilbert,
Nay.
Maladra,
Aye.
Marks,
Aye.
McGowan,
Aye.
Radecki. Swanson.
Aye.
I get 7-3. Motion passes. On to item 11B. Approve resolution number 2019-25, authorizing execution of a contract with Studio GC in the amount not to exceed $60,000 for city facilities assessment services. Do I have a motion? Moved by Marks. Seconded by Ruby. Any discussion? It's not. Any commentary from the public? Mr. Recording Secretary, can you take the roll?
Bruno,
Aye.
Burkhart,
Nay.
Clements,
Aye.
Ruby,
Aye.
Gilbert,
Nay.
Maladra,
Aye.
Marks,
Aye.
McGowan,
Aye.
Radecki. Swanson.
Nay.
My tally comes up with 6-4.
Correct.
Motion passes. There is no presentation of ordinances, resolutions. Item 12. That moves us on to new business. Is there any new business from the dais? Seeing none. Any from the public? No public comments? Okay, moves us on. Next item is adjournment. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
By Swanson, seconded by Marks. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We stand adjourned. What do I do to the mayor?
Say good night.
Good night, Mayor.
Good night, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. Thank you.